Hey, it's Allie Thompson with Vendor Success Secrets, and today I wanted to jump on and talk about competition. This is a subject that's come up several times this week, and I've really wanted to talk about it, so I'm just going to make a video and talk about it, um, and let's get to it because competition is really scary for some people. They go to a show and they see somebody doing very similar to what they're doing, and they kind of freak out a little bit, like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. Or they go to a show and they see somebody doing a different product. They go to the next show and that person is now doing a product very similar to yours. So you're like, that person is copying me. That person saw me at the last show and now they're copying what I'm doing. The truth is, yeah, they probably are. We all get ideas from somewhere, right? Like we're all out there looking around for unique and different ideas. Sometimes it gets a little stalkerish where we feel like every time I change, that person changes with me. And sometimes it makes us feel really insecure. Like if our business doesn't succeed, it's because this other person has copied us. And because they're taking a whole lot of the business, now I can't succeed. First of all, I want to point out that most of the concern with competition is really just rooted in fear. It's just fear, straight up. A little bit of aggravation, but mostly it's fear. It's fear that that person is going to be successful selling what you believe is your idea. And honestly, there are very few unique ideas in the world. There are some, but a lot of it is just I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if they do what I'm doing, they're going to be more successful at it, and then they're going to make all the money with my idea, and then I'm not going to make the money. And it can cause a lot of people to kind of get very protective. Like I was talking to somebody earlier this week that says, can I do like a closed group because I have this person that's kind of following me and they're copying what I'm doing. And if I do a closed group, then they can't see anything. They're going to fake. They're still going to find out. They're still going to see you at the shows. They're still going to see what you're doing. You're still going to promote things on Instagram. You're still going to promote things on your Facebook page. They're going to see it. Nothing is secret. Nothing is secret. When we go to the shows, people walk around and I see a lot of people get mad when somebody takes a picture of their stuff. 99.9% of the people that take a picture of your stuff aren't going to do anything with it. Like, honestly, they're just not. And so we've had, in our rabbit toy business, we've had a lot of competitors. Not at the beginning, but at the beginning, we went around to other websites and said, okay, what's out there? What can we do? Is this a thing? And we saw that there were other people making rabbit toys, so that there was a market for us. So we kind of copied too, right? I mean, if you're making jewelry, you're not the first one to make jewelry. If you're making soaps, you're not the first one to make soaps. Like there's most of the things out there are not unique to you. You got the idea from somebody else, and somebody else is going to get ideas from you. But now that the internet has blossomed the way that it has, because we started back in 2001, there are lots of rabbit toy manufacturers out there, and some of them knock us off almost piece by piece. Like it's our design. Like there are some things that we created that we had come up with originally. Like there was nothing out there like it. And we tried something and it worked and we put it out there, and now there are the copycats everywhere, right? And I get it. They're just people that are working from home and trying to make a living, and they think, wow, this is a great product. So therefore, I could do that. My husband knows how to do woodworking, or I know how to do woodworking, and I could create something like that, and I could do it cheaper, better, or whatever. You know, everybody always has their own slant on it. So I want to show you, we actually belong to some pet trade magazines. I don't know, things are backwards in this, aren't they? We belong to some pet trade magazines. And this is a magazine over the last couple of months, we've been getting a magazine with a particular ad in it. And here is the ad. So I'm going to show you this one first. And this guy right here, this toy right here, this is a direct copy of one of our toys. Now ours, I would say, is better. I don't think they did it as well as us, but this is something that we came up on our own. We didn't copy this idea from anybody else. And it's like a direct copy. It's really looks exactly like ours for the most part, except for the pieces that come off. Ours is a little bit different, but we attach our pieces the exact same way. This here is a copy of one of our toys that we call our fuzzy log. It's smaller. It looks like it's smaller than ours, but it's definitely a copy. And this is a big company. So this is not a mom and pop. This is Oxbow Hay. This is a big company. Whenever I do this, the lights kind of, I'm going to brighten my shade up a little bit. So this here is a copy of our activity zone. And not only did they copy the shape of the activity zone, which again was one of our original designs, but they even have it. We have our big one. We have 4 toys that hang off of it. Not only do they have the 4 toys, but those 4 toys mimic the same style as the 4 toys that we hang off of ours. You know, I'm not getting mad at anybody for making something that looks like a carrot. That's pretty common in the rabbit toy market. But then this guy here, right there, I don't know, you can barely see it. That's a copy of one of our toys called the House of Toys. And what's funny to me about this picture is it has a peak on it. So there's a peak on there. Now, the only reason we put a peak on ours is because we wanted to call it a house. They copied us so thoroughly that they didn't even stop to think whether or not that piece needed a peak on it. I mean, maybe it's better design-wise, but I mean, it's a straight-up copy. And I don't know if they're calling theirs a House of Toy. They haven't actually released their products yet. I think it's coming out this month, or it was supposed to be like late spring or something like that. So I gotta keep an eye on them. But here's the deal. So a lot of people, and I've shown people this before, and they're like, "Oh my God, aren't you so angry? That's just too far. That is just too far. Why don't you trademark it? Why don't you copyright your stuff or trademark your stuff or whatever?" Here's why. You only have to make one tiny little change in order to beat somebody's trademark. So when we talked to somebody years ago, and we were not seriously looking at a trademark, but we, kind of considered it like, let's trademark our stuff. And all it really took was if we said that our toy has 2 blue pieces and 1 red piece, the other people could say, I have 2 red pieces and 1 blue piece, and it's a different toy. Like it's all they had to do was switch out the colors, and it's exactly the same. Because when you're that's more for patenting. Trademark is more for, so I'm talking more about patenting. And these, like, they only have to do a tweak, and all of these are tweaked. Everything that I just showed you is a tweak. It's not an exact replica. It's tweaked. And they know they can't copy us exact. And they actually could, because we're not, we don't have a patent or any of that stuff. So why am I not like livid? Why am I not? First of all, when I saw it, I laughed. I'm like, this is so funny. They like straight up, I'm complimented. Like, this is a big company. This is one of the biggest small animal companies in the United States. And they are ripping us off like thoroughly. So why am I not concerned? Why am I not upset? When I go to Etsy, I see our products. I mean, there's barely differences on some of them. I'm like, no, that's our product. You're just making our product. Even on Amazon, there's a seller on Amazon. It's a pretty big company it's still a small company, but they've got a pretty big name. They're ripping us off directly. Again, there are tweaks, there are little differences, but there are designs. So why do I not get mad? First of all, let's go through a couple of things. If you have competition, you're always going to get competition. I'm expecting it. They see that we're successful and they want to be successful. So they think by copying our products, they're going to be successful. And maybe they are, but first of all, you've got to be willing to out-innovate. If we just manufactured a toy and said, that's it, we're just doing this, and we're only doing this for forever and ever and ever, and if anybody tries to copy us, we'll just take them to court and sue them and all of that. I don't want to live that way. I don't have any interest in that. So we do things that the other guys can't do. And the way our toys look is different. The way rabbits interact with our toys is different because we're a small company. We put attention to detail that some of these bigger companies can't. Now, that's really what the Oxbow toys, like, there's no attention to the detail. They're pretty flat toys. Like, they're not, in the pet store realm, they're innovative, but online, there's much better options out there. We're just going to out innovate them. We're just going to consistently, as long as we have this company, all right, they do that, we're going to do it better. We're going to do it better, and we're going to charge more. And we'll still sell well. So always be willing to out innovate. Don't worry about somebody copying you and then you're stuck in your product. You've got to keep learning, and you've got to keep advancing, and you've got to keep making new products. All right. You've got to keep innovating. However, I don't know that innovation is always the answer. So some people jump on that. They're like, okay, I have to change my entire product line because that person is doing it. That is a way to outmaneuver them, but it's not always necessary. It's just really not. Because there are two other reasons why you should not fear your competition. One is they can never duplicate you, and they can never duplicate the relationship you have with your own customer base. This is why relationships are extremely, extremely important. You know that if there's like 20 different grocery stores in your town, there's a couple of them that you go to and you have a relationship with them and you know who works there, and it's always the same produce guy and it's always the same manager and they say hi to you or whatever it is. And you feel loyalty to that brand. People will feel loyalty to you, but you've got to give them a really good reason to. You've got to start building that relationship. You've got to increase your know, like, trust. You've got to be more than just your product. Because if people are buying on product alone, that's when they start price comparing, right? We don't want them to do that. We want them to buy from us because they like us, because they think our business is neat, because we have fun on social media, and because we're super interactive, and we do giveaways and we do contests, and we're always having funny little posts, and they really get an attachment to us, right? So that's one thing. They can never duplicate that relationship. Now, they can have their own relationships with their own customers, but then it's just the two of you building relationships. You know what I'm saying? And you're each going to have, I mean, that's why, how many people sell Tupperware and how many people sell Scentsy, and they're all in the same community, but they all have their own network. Everybody has there is enough to go around. There is more than enough to go around. You just kind of plant your flag and say, this is who I am. This is the business I'm in. And this is how this is the personality of my business. And this is how I interact with my customers. But instead we're like, oh no, they've got that. And we think it's all about the product. It's not. It's not about the product at all. Everybody at a show could have the exact same product, but something's going to stand out about each one. And if you haven't figured out what it is that helps you stand out, and besides the product, then that's something you really need to think about. And the relationships is one of the most solid things you can build. You build that core group of people who are just raving fans, and then they bring in more people and say, check this out. This is so awesome. They're not out looking for anybody else. They're already in a relationship. Okay. The second thing, and this is the thing that for us in the rabbit toy world, why I don't get concerned about competition at all. It does not bother me, not even one little bit. And the reason is I can outmarket them every day of the week. They think it's about the product. If I have a product that looks like this successful company online, I'm going to be successful. That's what they're thinking. They think our success is in our products. Now, our products help us have success, and we have to have good and quality products, and they have good quality products too. I go on Etsy, there's fantastic products on there. I'm selling circles around them because it's not about the product. It's about the relationship, and it's about the marketing. So my marketing is 10 times, 50 times, however much better than theirs. So therefore, I will make that much more money. They think, again, all I have to do is put it up on Etsy and people are going to buy it, because this other company, they don't have any idea about building a list. They don't have any idea about how to email that list. They don't have any idea about any of that. And this is the big secret, you guys. Everywhere you go, you're going to have competition around you. When you go to a show, you're competing with every vendor there for the dollars that that person has in their pocket that day, right? They come in planning on spending $100. You're all competing for that $100. And then you have people that have products very, very similar. And then you have people just copying you outright. And you have all of this competition, but none of them, I don't say none, 98% of your competition has no idea how to do marketing. No idea at all. Oxbow is just showing up in pet stores. I'm not in pet stores. They're going to show up in pet stores, place a product on the shelf, and they'll sell it or they won't sell it. It doesn't bother me one bit at all. But my competitors online that are making our, rabbit toys similar to us, they have no idea. They have no idea. They are completely oblivious to what we actually do to grow our company. They think it's all about how we make our product and we sell our product. They don't realize my husband spends time making the toys. My time is spent marketing. And if you spend at least as much time marketing as what you do on the production of your product, then you're going to have a much more successful, and by marketing, I mean effective marketing. So you can't just go out and start making Facebook posts and say, I'm marketing. If you don't have a good strategy behind it, you're not going to see any results with that. So really good marketing, really thinking through your marketing and going deep and creating strategies that bring people in, get them excited, create desire for your product, and then sell to them. That is going to blow everybody else out of the water. They will have no idea how to catch you. And that's what I teach in my premium group. That's what I'm teaching in my Next Level Academy. That's what I teach in the e-commerce masterclass. And that's what I teach even in my public Vendor Success Secrets Facebook group. It's all about the marketing. Your product could be the most fabulous product in the world with no competition. And you're not going to get anywhere unless you have good marketing. You could have a very boring, mundane product, but have amazing marketing, and you'll be more successful than this person with a super unique product over here. So don't worry about the competition. When my daughter goes to cubing competitions, she does Rubik's Cubes, and she goes to cubing competitions. If she spent her time while solving her cube looking to her left and to her right to see how everybody else is doing, her times would be terrible. She's got to focus on her own competition, on her own work. Otherwise, looking around at everybody else is just going to screw her up. She's going to lose. So she's got to stay focused, and that's how you got to be with your business. It's okay to be aware that there's other things going on around you, but when you focus on your own work and what makes you special, and the relationships that you are building and the marketing systems you are putting in place, and you don't waste all your time trying to trademark things and patent things and saying that guy over there and don't take pictures of my stuff because that's fear. You're so scared. But when you have a marketing strategy and strong relationships, that stuff doesn't scare you. You're not afraid anymore because you know exactly what you need to do to make sales. And at that point, you realize it's less about the product. It's more about the relationships and the marketing. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is competition something that's scary to you? What do you think you can do moving forward to reduce that fear of competition? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that everybody should be that I should be suing everybody online? I mean, that is so not how I want to spend my time. If I spent my time suing everybody instead of marketing, I would be in much worse shape than I am now. I just outmarket them. I outmarket them all day, every day. How do you feel about marketing? Put it in the comments. I'll be watching, I'll be responding, and let's talk about it, and we'll see you next time.